Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Hope everyone's doing well this rising. Grand Rising.
Peace, everybody. Peace to the chat. Whoever's all in there right now. I'm not. Peace, everybody. Peace to the chat. Whoever's all in there right now. I'm not.
Grand Rising, everyone.
Grand Rising, David Corey. Grand Rising, Brittany. He says an echo.
Sending these
Grand Rising. Is that still an echo, David?
I think that was the playback from one of our ends he was catching.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I had my external speaker on too, so I just cut it off. Cool.
Sending these links out real quick. So when YouTube don't want to send notifications.
No worries, we got it covered. We got it covered. So today is what people consider hump day, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So we are on day 6 of covering the the 501Cs and tax-exempt status organizations. And we'll probably be done by Thursday. We'll probably be done tomorrow. David says he never got notifications. Well, how you being so early, David?
he just be here.
Yeah, he said that's what he said. I never got notifications. I'm just just stay on the channel. He lives on the channel.
Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate you for being here.
Yes, sir.
Most definitely.
Thomas, I have a question.
What's up?
How does the 501c situation, I'm gonna call it, tie into being an Indian / tribal / how does it help the Indian?
That is a great question, and that question has many answers. So, because the 501c was what the Indians' original status was, which made them non-tax or tax exempt because of the way they had everything set up, and because of their beliefs of taking care of the tribe, and then whatever was excess, they gave back to the people. And they never considered owning anything. That's how nonprofits are basically set up today. And when it comes to being able to help the tribes, because they are 501Cs themselves, they are privy to funds and grants and loans, and they have access to HUD support. Because I don't know of very many tribes who have a population of over 20,000. And a lot of these HUD 3 grants are population based. So when you couple the nonprofit with the HUD 3 and other grants from USDA and things of that nature that are population based, which favor these tribes, then you are put in a favorable position. So hopefully that helps.
It did. I'm gonna probably ask that question later on too, just for the people who aren't here.
Okay. And again, when you're a 501c and you set up another 501c, or you're part of an organization or an association that has the ability to persuade, influence elections, then you get legislation put in place on your behalf, like we've been witnessing with a lot of these entities that are 501Cs. it gives you the ability to take advantage of things that you didn't know, at least I didn't know, was possible to take advantage of, which levels the playing field. And you know, whenever you level the playing field for us, what do we end up doing with it? I just leave it at that.
Take over.
Yeah, basically. David Corey says, no sellout, don't forget. I'm not going to let me forget. Good. Please.
Good. Yep. Appreciate it.
So that's how these nonprofits, organizations, and these entities allow you to access the same privileges that some people would call the oppressor. The European has had access to all along. So now that we know how to access these things, we know that we are capable of doing these things, it's just a matter of implementation. So, speaking of which, quick community update. I want to thank Bones for sharing information with us that he shared from his meeting with the commissioner last night. It was very enlightening to say the least, and it's going to allow us to definitely level the playing field in all 50 states. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the path that we're going, and people will start to be able to see the fruits of our labor, if you will. So thanks, Bones. Appreciate you.
No problem. Just doing my part.
So yesterday we left off on the 501c 29. Is that where we left off?
Yeah, 28, 29. Once I hear it, I know exactly. I know we did 28.
Yeah, 29 is qualified nonprofit health insurance insurers.
Did we go into that?
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't. We stopped at 28. Yeah. Yeah, because it was 936. Yeah, we stopped at 28.
So let's look at the nonprofit insurance insurers. So since there are no links to these entities, I will look for links to send that gives you some basic information on them, and we can get these hard hats on and start digging together. So the first link that I'm putting in there comes from taxmap.irs.gov, and it basically gives us a co-op health insurance. So what co-ops are, as you know, are organizations where the beneficiaries are actually the owners or the creators or the originators of the actual company. So there are new guidances for the IRC, Internal Revenue Code 501c29, qualified health insurance insurers. Okay. They also have a Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services website. Then they have legal guidance. Then they have revenue procedures for issuing determination letters for ruling and exempt status for qualified and non-profit insurance insurers. Then they have the 9709 application for recognition as a 501c29. So this is where you would go to set this up. Grand Rising, Michael Robinson. Right now we're talking about the 501c29, and I just sent the link in, and it sent us to taxmap.irs.gov. So I'm going to click on the guidelines for the links, and hopefully it gives us more of a definition and potentially some companies. And it reads, Section 501c29 added to the code by Section 1322 H1 of the Affordable Care Act provides for the exemption of qualified nonprofit health insurance insurers that have received a loan or grant under the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services co-op program for periods that may meet both the requirements of Section 1322 of the Affordable Care Act and of any loan agreements with the CMS, which is the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare. The co-op program provides loans and repayable grants to foster the creation of member-governed QNHIIs that will operate with a strong consumer focus and offer qualified health insurance plans. So what this is basically telling us is that this requirement that was added, or amendment that was added to the Affordable Health Care Act, it provided grants and loans to help create these co-op programs to get them started. So that means organizations was given money or loan money to start these.
Yep. Now, do people understand why they wanted to tear it down so bad? Had nothing to do with there was problem with health. They wanted that money that was being dumped into it.
Exactly.
That's the stop.
Exactly. And then they go in and talk about the general requirements for exemption under 501c. Grand Rising Chief Alchemy. He says, is this the exit the Matrix class? Chief Alchemy, I don't know about exiting.
I'm sorry.
I don't know about exiting a Matrix, but I do know about walking back through the door that our ancestors were walked out of, and them taking over our process of how we govern ourselves. So if that's what you call exiting the Matrix, then you're in the right class, if this is a class. But we're just exposing this information for people to...
Yeah. Trying to make sure we're informed on what to do and how to go about it.
He said same thing. LOL.
All right. Grand Rising, peace.
Dave, of course, is getting our power back. So we're on the 501c29, which is a qualified nonprofit health insurance insurers program that was made available, or was made possible, because of an added code by Section 1322 of the Affordable Health Care Act, where grants and loans were provided for these entities, these nonprofits, to be set up. So I'm just going over the general requirements for exemption under the 501c29 and annual filing requirements. So in general, Section 501c29 applies to certain organizations receiving loans to repayable grants under the co-op program. An organization will qualify for exemption under the 501c29 only if, so these are requirements. Requirement number 1, the organization has received a loan or repayable grant under the co-op program and is in compliance with all requirements of the co-op program and any agreements with CMS. Number 2, the organization has applied for recognition of exemption, meaning they filed in their paperwork to become tax exempt. Number 3, no part of the organization's net earnings inures to the benefit of any private shareholder or individual, except that the benefits or improve the quality of the healthcare delivered to its members, meaning all proceeds outside of paying salaries goes back to the members or to the help the company improve. Number 4, no substantial part of the organization's activities involves attempts to influence legislation. So what they're saying is that this 501c29 is not a 501c4 nor a 501c5 or 6. The organization does not participate or intervene in political campaigns. Now it's interesting that number 2, the last two are very strict when it comes to policy, when it comes to influencing legislation. Bones, why do you think that is? I must have caught him off guard. The reason why that is the case is because this bill came about because of politics, because of lobbying, because of certain 501c4s, 5s, and 6s that heavily influence legislation. So they don't want to create another 501c that is able to do the same thing. Now that does not mean that certain members that sit on the board of these 501cs can't also sit on the boards of 501c4s, 5s, and 6s that do influence legislation. That's not what they're saying. They just said the organization, or no substantial part of the organization, are involved with activities. And remember, the names of the members of these 501cs that are donating money are anonymous. So they probably wouldn't know anyway. Grand Rising Free. So there's also additional guidance for the